This is Curtis, Patchwerk Recording, one of the founding members with Bob Whitfield. Been here going on 10 years now. We started out in '93, so this is like our 10th year. We started the record label in '93. Started a studio like in '95 after I graduated from college. Our first artist was Raz Cass. He grew up with me and Bob in the neighborhood. The name of our neighborhood is called The Patch, hence Patchwerk Recordings. We've been putting in work for The Patch for about 10 years now. We're a full-fledged recording studio. We do a lot of independent projects. Along these walls, if you see all these plaques, we work with these guys before they sold any records. We started out with Chris when he was Chris Lover. He used to come in, pay cash, physical cash, every like $200, $300 out of his pocket after he would leave the radio station. We put him in a room. He didn't have a budget. He didn't have a deal. He was unknown, but he was one of the guys that we was real cool with. So we had him working probably for about $65 an hour. We mixed his whole album. Probably did it for a couple $100 or $100 each song. We cut him a real good deal because we thought that he would be one of the type of artists that would grow with us as we grew as a company. Turns out, we got 3 plaques from Luda. All of them sold over 3 million copies. Outkast was our very first client ever in '95. We did the Elevators album. We actually shot the Soul Food video in the studio with the Goody Mob. That was our second project. We did Lil Jon before he left So Def. We did all the Shorty Swing My Way, the bass albums, all the old stuff that you can imagine that whenever they stamped it A-Town Classic, we did it at the old facility before these guys even blew up or whatever. So there's the Shorty Swing My Way while we talking about it, which is funny. One of the things that separate us from all the other studios in Atlanta and in Georgia is our console. This room features the SSL J9000 console. It's a $1.3 million console. It's the biggest console pretty much here in Georgia. It's a 96 frame console, and it's the only console of its type. Our monitors are it's a company based out of London called Quested. There's some $76,000 speakers. And we got over $300,000 worth of outboard gear in this room as well. And all that comes with the room when people book this studio. People book days in this room because they're working on big projects and mixing and putting the final touches to what all the consumers hear. It's where they make that sound. That they may work and record somewhere else, but working in this room is where they're making what you hear in the club, in your cars, and your stereos. They get that sound from here. We got to work on Tupac's album, even though he had passed, so we didn't get to actually have him in, but the last 2 albums we got to work on. The biggest of the biggest in rap, Nas was big, Nori was big, Keith Murray, like I said, Scarface, Cash Money, T.I., Luda, Outkast, Goody. Snoop was huge for us. We did Whitney. We worked on her Christmas album. Bobby was here. Bobby's funny. He's another person. I don't care what they say about Bobby. It's just like he's just a nigga. It's no different that he just didn't change when he got on TV and got famous. But Bobby, you would think from the way they portray him that he can't even really talk. But Bobby come in, he speak to everybody. He stand there in your face and he talk like he got sense. I don't know if it's just me, but for some reason I would think that the way they just make him look like he's dumb and be doing stupid stuff, you wouldn't think he had any common sense. Bobby know what he talking about. He know what he doing. Typically when you doing your song, you do the music and then you go on the vocal booth. Bobby don't want to do that. Bobby want to hook a mic up in the back of the machine and stand right here and sing in front of the engineer and everybody. He do it raw, and then he'll go on the vocal booth and do it, which was way different for us because we ain't never had a nigga just singing in the back of the room. So this is the main vocal booth in Studio 9000. This is where, Nas did Ether, which was a big song for him when he snapped back at Jay-Z. This is where, Tion sits when she does her vocals. This is where Monica works. This is where Snoop was at, except for the mic is probably set about up here for Snoop. Snoop is about 6'5". You know what I mean? Actually, we use Snoop upstairs. We'll go upstairs in a minute. We have a booth that for the artists just swear that they have to smoke when they're doing their stuff. They got a designated smoking booth that they use. We had 50 Cent in here. I think he did the verse with Joe. He did a song with Joe in here. So he was here for like 2 days. Usually when they're in here, they got their shoes off and their hair tied up or whatever, and they just singing their hearts out. So it's been a lot of history that's been made in this room so far. We won like a architectural design for our hallway. We got the West Indian slate that was flown in from West Indian, the wood floors. I got a call I had to give Fat Joe, the person that did these railings, because he wanted to put them in his house. I got a call from Usher about the people that put this light fixture in, the chandelier and all the lighting throughout the building, and the wood trim and the floors, because he wanted to put it in his house as well. Working in our Studio 9000. So they hang out in here, you know, usually they have more than 8 to 10 people with them. They got the drink machines, they got the PlayStation, DVDs. This is where Snoop works, and this is where Scarface works, because them two, like Face will tell you, man, Kurt, I ain't never did a verse without a Newport in my mouth. So, you know what I mean, he just got to smoke when he's rapping and stuff. So we put these guys up here in his upstairs vocal booth, and it creates a different feel than being down there on the ground. You know, over here you can overlook into the console. Down below, you're a little less isolated because you got your homies in the room behind you shooting pool and stuff like that. So it just creates a whole different vibe. It's like you're in a whole different recording studio. We got a pretty good tracking system. So anytime somebody brings something in, and if it stays the night in our building, it goes in this box where it's to be checked in on our computer-based system. So we check the stuff in, put it underneath the artist, the producer, the label, and stuff like that. And then we come down here and create these boxes where we store really the masters. So it's like, it's probably, I don't even know if this is out yet or something, but this is like David Banner. And what this is like a Pro Tools this. So we'll put this in the computer-based system and pull up all the tracks separately, and this is what they mix and master off of. You know, we got Snoop, Scarface, Sleepy Brown. We did a lot of his album that hadn't come out yet. Shauna from DTP that's not out. Rodney Jerkins, we did the Field Mob single that was real big for him. Here's the DTP stuff. We did CeeLo's song with Tip and Jazzy, all the Cash Money stuff. This is what y'all get y'all product off of. We do the mix in the studio. You know, you pull up the Pro Tools files, and then the final version is mixed down to these called DATs, digital audio tapes. Those are the 2-inch reels. So that's what, when Cash Money first started with us, that's how their stuff was coming in labeled. These are like the real masters. When you think of like you own your own masters, this is what people really were referring to as the 2-inch tape. People wonder how Tupac keep making songs. And what they do is they go and record on these 2-inch tapes. And each track is tracked out separately. You know what I mean? You got bass, kick, snare, lead, all this stuff. So if this was a Tupac album, you know what I mean, what they do is, that's why they argue about those masters with Suge and Daz and his mom, because whoever has these masters, they can take these masters to the studio, pull them up on the console, and then mute everything but Pac's vocals. And then they'll have another producer come in and use the same tempo that they made the original song to, change all the music, and there you go, you got a new song. And then like a lot of things that happens with these reels, why he got so much material, is that usually on each song they may do 2 sets of lead vocals, you know, just trying to fill out the song. He may spit a verse for this song and then spit another one, change it up a little bit, and then be like, nah, I don't like that, but they don't throw it away because they have so many tracks on this reel. There's no need to throw it away, they just keep it. So what happens is you go in, you pull up these old reels, you might got a Pac verse on there that nobody never heard. So this is Curtis Daniel, manager of Patchwerk Studios, celebrating our 10th year. Wanted to thank the Raw Report for coming out. See you guys later on.